Jeff from Chillin and Grillin with Jeff here. What season would be complete without heading over to my good friend Adam Brock's backyard? He's super creative, does amazing things on the barbecue and the smoker. Let's head back there and see what's going on. By the way, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Chillin and Grillin with Jeff. Rocky.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, bud. Good to see you, man.
How are you?
Fantastic as always.
Right on. I heard you were coming, so I've got you a drink ready.
Well, cheers, man. Right
Cheers
out of the
to
gate.
that.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some killer, off-the-wall, different type barbecue today?
Look, we're going to talk about your menu in a minute here, but I'm
That's just the walnuts hitting my bar.
I expect some wild stuff at your house, but I see the squirrels chucking them down on the rooftop. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm not looking for normal chicken wings here. As you know, you did the best chicken wings I've ever had.
Do I still hold that title a few seasons
you
later?
still hold that title.
Good to hear.
I'm not going to back down from that yet. Anyway, tell me, what are you going to cook today? Because I'm always wondering.
So today we're going to do some smoked salmon and some pork belly.
I'm going to say this. You're not just doing smoked salmon.
No.
You don't have to elaborate, but I'm sure you're going to go smoked salmon up 1 level, 2 levels, 3 or 4 levels.
There's 3 or 4 levels
Okay,
to
good.
it.
And pork belly. Now, we did pork belly last time, right?
We did do some char siu pork belly. Yeah, we went an Asian
that
twist.
was pretty awesome. So you're going to do something different with that?
A little bit different,
Taking it
of
up a couple
course.
more
I don't
notches?
think you've seen pork belly like this before.
No, not at all. So, all right. And then what else?
Got some smoked seafood ceviche, which is not typical.
Okay, stop. Wait a minute. You're doing ceviche on the barbecue?
Ceviche on the smoker.
I don't want to correct you, but you can't do ceviche on a barbecue or a smoker.
And you can't judge it until you try it.
All right. Well, I'm anxious to see what the story is. So you're just going to smoke the seafood, I guess. Get some flavor into it, and then go with traditional ceviche?
Exactly, yeah.
right.
We're also going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to smoke some walleye today. Me and my sons, we love walleye fishing, so we've had a great year. We've got a freezer full. You know, it's a leaner white fish that people don't typically smoke, so I'm going to teach you some tricks today on how to smoke it, get some great flavor, and not dry it out.
So the simple thing is you're doing smoked salmon, pork belly, seafood, and walleye.
Yes, sir.
Sounds real simple, 4 things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing that's going to be way more complicated than that.
Well, we'll see, I
There you
guess.
go. Well, listen, let's have a drink. Let's watch the chestnuts get bombed down on Adam Brocky world back here, and then we'll get into the kitchen. We'll do some food prep.
Sounds great.
Well, Brocky, I see a big old pile of what looks like pork belly sitting here. Whenever I come to your house, I expect to see a platter full of pork belly waiting to go on a smoker or a grill or something. I know we have to get this started, so let's walk me through what you're doing.
Yeah, so pork belly, of course, you've seen it on the show. You've eaten it many times. Meat candy, of course.
yeah.
Everybody does it, but we're going to do something a little different with this pork belly today. Fair season's coming up, so candy apples, one of my favorite things to eat at the fair. So we're going to do candy apple pork belly skewers today.
Okay, I'm sold already.
So we're going to start with just this simple rub. I got this down at the market at Chris's Country Cuts. It's Heaven and Hell sweet and spicy rub. So we're just going to give the pork belly pieces a generous rub in this stuff. Get it going just to get some flavor on there.
You like the fact that this has some sweetness in it, this particular rub?
Sweet and heat, to be honest. If it were just me, I'd probably add a little more cayenne to this one because we are going to go sweet. This time you can handle a little more heat in a rub, but we're just going to get a generous coating on all those pieces.
You're not oiling the slices, nothing. You're just going pure.
There's enough fat in the pork belly that no need to oil these suckers.
So we're going to throw these on the smoker or on the grill or a little bit of...
You know, around here, we don't use grills too often. I don't even own a gas barbecue these days. So definitely going on the smoker. Low and slow for these at the start, and then we'll do something a little funky with them in a bit.
Looking good already. The smell of that rub is amazing, too.
It is, yeah. So I grabbed this just a couple weeks ago. I was down at Chris's Country Cuts grabbing some andouille sausage for a seafood boil I was doing.
Nice.
He makes the best sausage in the city for
I'm not
sure.
gonna disagree with
Saw this rub and thought I'd give it a try.
So I see salmon, and I always love to see salmon. You've done some prep on this already. Walk me through what happens now.
Just like the pork belly, everyone's seen smoked salmon before, but we're going to do it completely different than you've seen today. Okay. So this is just a dry brine I put on yesterday.
What do you mean by a dry brine?
So no liquid in it, although you can see quite a bit of liquid in that pan now. So that was just brown sugar, salt onto the fish. It's been about 18 hours now.
So all this liquid's from the fish.
From the fish, that's correct. So we're going to rinse that off now, and then I'll show you how we're going to turn this smoked salmon up a bit. Feel that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Feel it.
Yeah. It looks,
Right?
Yeah.
It's like leather.
Yeah. Texture is amazing. The color of this is amazing. And then I see jalapenos, cream cheese, capers, garlic. What are we doing here?
Lemon, dill. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice this salmon long ways and create a bit of a cream cheese mixture that we're going to pipe in between the salmon. And then once we get that on the smoker for a few hours, the smoked cream cheese is just incredible. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Right, so let's see this mixture, because this sounds kind of like you're out there a bit on this one.
Sure. Okay. Well, we're going to add the cream cheese, of course. It's easier if it's soft. We're going to add some diced jalapenos. You can do jalapenos or not do them, but you can't have Jeff at your house without jalapenos. We'll get the seeds out just so it's not too crazy spicy, but we're not going to be done with the salmon yet either. I'll show you guys here in a couple hours after it's on the barbecue. We're going to finish this off with a bit of a sweet maple miso bacon
Of course, because
glaze.
you can't just take salmon and go up a notch.
No.
You have to take salmon and go up a notch with a cream cheese mixture, and then you have to take that up a notch.
That's right, exactly.
So we got lots of jalapenos in there. Capers, always a classic.
Yeah, you got to get some salinity in there. So especially with the salmon, the capers, the dill, the lemon, they're just such classic flavors. You know, when people are smoking stuff, you can go with different woods to impart different flavors. Lots of people on fish, you know, they use lighter woods, whether it's a fruit wood or an alder or something like that. But I'm a big fan of the blends, so I've got a hickory, mesquite, and cherry blend on the smoker now
Yeah.
for today's cook.
So we got the garlic in there. We got some dill, and now you're adding some lemon.
Yeah, so we've got the cream cheese, the jalapenos, the capers. We got some dill, some garlic. I'm going to squeeze a bit of lemon juice in here.
So our cream cheese is going to soften up so you can mix it all up together. And now you're talking about slicing this.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is leave it attached at the end, but we're going to cut long slices lengthwise here, Jeff.
Right. So we left it connected at this end.
Connected at that
Right through
end.
on the other end.
That's correct. Because of that texture from that salt, you know, it's got that
Yeah.
leather-like texture.
Yeah.
You do really have to push, but we're going to spread that out on the board as best we can. Okay. And then I'll give you a trick here on how to pipe that in.
All right, so I never hear the word piping and barbecue in the same sentence unless I'm at your house.
Right.
So, this is our cream cheese mixture, jalapenos, cream cheese, capers, lemon, all kinds of happy stuff.
Yep.
We've got our salmon sliced up. And
That's
what
right.
happens now?
So we're going to just pipe it right in here. And again, you said you never hear piping in barbecue, but I don't really pipe. I'm not a baker. So I just use a Ziploc bag and cheat. Once you get a good row in there, you can use a spoon and spread it out. And once we go get this all piped in here, we'll give it one last coat of some seasoning.
So we've got this on the cedar planks. And I know we're not done because we're never done, right? We always have to add 2 or 3 more things. So what's going on here next?
Now it's just pretty simple. We're going to put some garlic on top there. Just, you know, a little bit extra flavor. You can never layer the flavors too much. So
Not at your house.
no, absolutely not. Some fresh ground black pepper. Again, you know, just a different
Lot going on here.
element of heat.
Super excited to try this. Lots of flavors happening.
And then red pepper flakes.
Absolutely.
I do like red pepper flakes. I eat them on almost everything. So
They complement the jalapenos.
Absolutely.
This looks awesome. So what are we doing with this now? It's going to go on the
That's ready
smoker?
on the smoker. It's going to go low and slow. Once we get to an internal temp of about 130, we're going to make that miso maple bacon glaze.
Of course we are. All right, let's throw it on the grill. You brought some creativity to the grill. You're doing smoked ceviche. So to me, I don't even know how that works. Like, how do you do ceviche on a barbecue? This is my question.
So ceviche, typically you don't cook the seafood.
Certainly not on a barbecue, my friend.
So what we're going to do is smoke the scallops and the shrimp very low and slow. And only for about half an hour to give it a bit of flavor of the smoke, but not to fully cook them. So we'll combine the rest of these ingredients. We've got some seasoning, some lemon, orange, lime, cilantro, red onion, avocado. We'll get that all combined. We'll get some smoke on the scallops and shrimp. We'll let those cool, add it into this bowl. let it sit for 3 or 4 hours so the citrus can actually finish the cooking of the seafood.
Sounds good. So what do we got going in for the ceviche?
Well, we just start piling everything in. So we squeeze our lemons here. We'll get the seeds out after. We're not too worried about it. We've got oranges going in, 1 big orange, 1 big lemon. We've got another lime there. So lots of citrus flavors here. You could use a juicer, but you know, I'm a barbecue guy.
Guys, right? Yeah.
And the trick with the citrus too, I always give it a roll on the wood cutting board prior to cutting it open. So you get a lot more juice out of them that way. And then if you like the citrus flavors, zesting a bit of the lime or the lemon is never a bad idea either.
All right, so we got all our juice in it. We're going to strain out those seeds, and then
We'll
you're
get
just going
those
to toss
seeds out,
everything in,
toss
chop up the
everything
scallops
in.
and the shrimp when we pull them off the smoker.
Yep,
Let
into
it
the
all
fridge for a
cool
couple
off, throw it in
hours.
and forget about it.
And we're gone.
Perfect. Once again, creativity at your place. Ceviche on the barbecue. Time for a check-in on the old smoker here and see what's going on.
have a look. Oh, you can see the cream cheese is picking up some color. The salmon's starting to tighten up there.
So the pork is looking good.
Pork belly's looking great. So we're going to pull that off now and start to get it in this tinfoil tray. We're going to do candy apple pork belly. So we're going to get it in this tray. We're going to get some apple juice in there with it, cover it in tinfoil and back on this grill for about an hour. And then, of course, once it's done, we're going to take this up another notch, too. We are going to put them on a skewer just like you'd have a candy apple or a lollipop. And just about a cup of apple juice, maybe half an inch or an inch on that bottom. This, of course, is going to add a bit of acidity, a bit of sweetness, and then we'll wrap it nice and tight so it does sort of steam that pork belly in there and keeps it nice and moist. Let's go make that glaze for that salmon.
So that salmon was looking good. We checked in on the smoker. Everything was looking awesome. But you mentioned a bacon glaze, miso, something along those lines. This is going on the salmon?
That's right. So we've got some cooked bacon here I've chopped up. We're going to get it in the pan with some maple syrup and a bit of miso. And we're just going to reduce that down until it's a nice glaze. And then we're going to go out there and top that salmon with it and let it go maybe another 5 or 10 minutes. That's that sweet we were talking about when we were adding the heat to the salmon. This is gonna even out those jalapenos, those red chili flakes. Just reduce it down until it's a nice consistency for a glaze.
And what does the miso bring to it?
A bit of umami, they call it. You know, it's gonna be that saltiness and sort of round out the flavor. Just bacon and maple syrup, nothing wrong with it, that's for sure, but it's just gonna be a little bit more complex flavor on that salmon.
So when we talked earlier about how you're just going to do smoked salmon, this has gone way off the charts. We've got a lot of flavors going on with the smoked cream cheese. You got some heat with the jalapenos. You got this miso bacon glaze going on. This looks amazing. Smells incredible.
Yeah, so we've got it thickened up to that consistency we'd like to see. We're gonna get all that candied bacon and the rest of that glaze on top of that salmon now.
Because, you know, it's just smoked salmon.
That's right. Get it on the brush and give it a good brush, and then we'll just pour after with all the leftovers.
We want to make sure we hit it all.
We want to get some of that bacon on there, all this glaze. We'll get it spread out.
Oh, man, look at this. All right, Brocky, as usual, this looks absolutely incredible. I can't wait to dive in, but I'm forgotten now. What the heck did we do? We have so many things going on.
Well, we started with the dry brine on the fish yesterday, so we let that go overnight, and that's just kosher salt, brown sugar, packed real tight against that fish. We rinsed it off real well, patted it dry. We did season it with some dill, black pepper, some garlic, some red chili flakes. But then, of course, we cut it long ways and piped in that cream cheese mixture of jalapeno,
And that
capers.
looks incredible. You can see where the smoke has kind of settled into that cheese.
It really does penetrate that cream cheese really well. And then, of course, once we smoked it to the likings of however you like your salmon smoked, some people enjoy it a little drier, some people enjoy it a little wetter. We put that miso, maple syrup, and bacon glaze on top. So.
And normally I'm not a big fan of adding a lot of ingredients.
Right.
But you make it work.
Yeah,
So-
it's going to be good.
Listen, we're just spending too much time talking and not enough time eating, so let's
dig in.
Let's dig in, buddy. I'm going to try a piece of the salmon on its own, just to start with.
I'll do the same then. We'll get a nice little end piece.
That glaze is incredible. Wow.
The miso
I was
really
just gonna say,
settles
yeah.
out the sweet.
It's kind of a different sort of sweet. It's there, not overpowering. The smoke is wonderful. For me, the texture's just right. We're gonna try some of this.
You got to get the cream cheese with the salmon.
Let's get some of the cream
Get a
cheese
piece of bacon.
with the bacon.
That's the golden bite right there.
That's it.
So I've got best chicken wing ever.
Well,
Do
yeah,
I have best smoked salmon?
Best smoked salmon. It's just incredible.
Fantastic.
So many flavors going on.
There is a lot of flavors here, but none of them overpower the other one.
No,
You
I need
still
a minute to
taste the
kind of.
salmon.
I just need a minute to absorb it all. That's incredible.
There's a little bit of everything there. And the truth is, it's not a super complicated dish. It sounds like that. You follow the steps and invest a couple hours and you can turn out some fantastic
Plate
food.
presentation-wise, it looks incredible. We've got all the major ingredients in my world: some seafood, some jalapeno peppers, and some bacon.
We have some great seafood coming up still. And, you know, bacon's from pork belly, so we've got some more stuff in store here.
All right, we got our seafood off the grill, and not gonna lie, it looks like we could probably just eat it.
Oh, it's pretty good just the way it is there.
Oh, wow.
We've smoked some scallops. We've smoked some shrimp. No seasoning whatsoever. We're letting the smoke talk on this
We don't
one.
even need that. Let's just eat this. Grab a couple of forks.
It's not bad.
It
That's
is.
for
It's
sure.
awesome.
So what we're going to do now is just break the seafood down into bite-sized pieces and get it in that ceviche that we've made. And then once you get it down here and all mixed up, you're going to go back into the fridge for approximately 2 or 3 hours. There's not really too long. You wouldn't want to go overnight because of the citrus, the amount of citrus in
Trying
it.
to break it down.
Yeah, it will start to really affect the texture of the seafood. But, you know, 2-3 hours, you're going to get that great flavor imparted. You want to make sure the seafood's fully cooled before you add it to the ceviche. Other than that, you know, it's just a matter of getting it into bite-sized pieces, mixing it up, getting it back in the fridge.
You said you're cooking fish, and I see fish in a bowl of milk.
We're doing a few different fish. So this is walleye.
You know you can't put milk on the grill, right? You keep talking about all these things, but what are we going to do here?
That sounds like a dare, actually. I'm going to figure that out for the next episode.
All right.
But
So we have walleye and milk. Why are we putting it in milk?
we do. So me and my boys love walleye fishing. There's great walleye fishing here in southwestern Ontario. You know, on a previous episode, you talked about walleye and pickerel. The pickerel is a different fish.
So what's the difference?
The pickerel is from the pike family. The walleye is a much whiter fish than pickerel, but
Okay.
in southwestern Ontario, I don't know why, but
We all call it the same.
interchange them.
I hear you.
Yeah, but this is walleye out of Lake Erie. We've got it soaked in milk, so we soak it in milk for about 20 minutes, and that's because people are going to watch this episode and say, you can't smoke walleye, you got to pan fry it. And don't get me wrong, I love to pan fry walleye, but you can smoke it, do it very low and for only about 20 minutes. So I soak it in the milk for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
It helps brings the fat content up in the fish.
So that's what the milk's adding fat to the fish. So
That's
it'll stop
right.
it from drying out.
That's
it'll
right.
smoke, but it won't get dry.
Exactly. So we're just going to take it out of the milk. We've had it in there for about 20 minutes. Let it drip. We're going to get it on this baking sheet. I've made a rub here of some smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic. You know, your
All the
typical
favorite
rub.
spices. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a bunch of these pieces on this baking sheet, and we're actually going to smoke it on this baking sheet because, again, we want to keep that fat. Well, there is no fat in walleye, so we're going to add some fat. We've done that with the milk, and we're going to add dabs of butter to the top of it when we smoke it to ensure that it doesn't dry out.
So we got this fairly well seasoned with your rub.
Yeah.
Just a variety of spices like you talked about. Now we're going to add some butter and
Yeah, we are. So we want to keep that fat content up to make sure this doesn't dry out. So we're going to get lots of butter, just a little bit. Yeah, not much.
I don't want to overdo it with the butter. or
Well, the
anything.
nice thing about the butter in the tray like this is it all melts down and then it's just going to be in the bottom and it's going to help cook the bottom of it. So it's, again, this isn't going on the smoker long. It's going fairly low temperature, only about 160 degrees, depending on what smoker you have. My smoker has a function called super smoke when you're under 225. So we're going to go 160 super smoke. Only for about 20 minutes.
Sure you don't want to add more butter? There's a couple spots that...
Yeah, we're not done
I
yet.
can still see the fish.
I'm a good cook. I'm not a cardiologist. That's ready for
All
the
right.
smoker.
Let's do it. All right, we got our walleye here with a little bit of butter.
A little bit.
This is the healthier version.
That's right. We don't want to go too
50% less butter than when you're absolutely crazy.
Everything's better with butter.
Yeah. Good. So we're low and slow. We're going to kind of go low but not slow.
Yep, and we're probably going to pull that pork belly off here in a minute.
All right.
And we'll get those glazed up and back on here with the walleye. So sticking with that candy apple sort of theme, I've made a glaze here of apple jelly and sweet and sour sauce and a few other things. It's that cool red color. So what we're going to do is get these skewers and dip them right in there, get a good glaze on these, and then get them back on the grill just a few minutes to tack up, and it's going to have that cool red color and all the sweetness of that apple jelly, sweet and sour sauce, and they're going to be ready here shortly.
All right, they're looking amazing. They smell incredible. I'm sure the flavor is going to be off the charts like it always is. All right, I'll give you a hand. Let's get them glazed up and get them on the grill.
Sounds good.
Well, Mr. Brocky, what can I say? There's everything you should never do on a grill, like ceviche, 6 pounds of butter. It's what we expect when we come here, and everything looks incredible. So
just in time for the boys. They just got home from school and they look hungry.
What do we jump into this walleye and with butter and see what we think of that?
All right.
Wow. A lot of smoke right out of the gate.
A lot of smoke.
Yeah.
And didn't dry out.
No, I was going to say, yeah, lots of moisture in there for sure. And I love the rub.
What do you think,
what do you guys think? The fish passes, thumbs up.
Logan.
Two thumbs up on the fish.
Ty.
Great.
All right.
So now the ceviche. I've been looking forward to trying this. So
the ceviche is going to be great. I bet you the boys are going to love this one too. There's a couple shrimp for you, Ty. Grab a chip and eat that up. Lugs, there's one for you, bud.
Our official judges over here.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a few things that are honest most of the time. Kids.
All the time. All right, man. Cheers. Ceviche, smoked ceviche. Looking forward to this.
Smoked ceviche. Here we go.
Wow. That trumps everything. That's incredible.
It sure does.
You know what pops out? You didn't put much, was one orange, but you can really taste the orange.
You can.
Right? It comes out quite a bit, the citrus, but the orange really stands out. Well, what do you think, guys? 2 for 2?
2 for 2.
Now
so
the
far.
big one. And what did we call these?
These are candy apple pork belly skewers.
Oh, boy. Super tender like pork should be.
Falls apart.
Just falling apart. The sweetness, so
Sweet.
a lot of apple flavor to it.
There sure is.
Goes burger. Look at that. The juice still in there.
That's, yeah.
That's the way it should be, right? Even got a nice smoke ring on there. Well,
All right,
that's awesome.
Savage.
Again, it's too good to not eat that way,
There
right?
you go.
Well, Brocky, once again, thanks for inviting us over. We look forward to this every year, getting together, doing some barbecue. I never know what you're going to do on the smoker, but whatever it is, it's nothing but top notch.
Well, next time you're here, I'm going to figure out how to smoke milk, apparently.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.